Hey guys, replacing the rocket panels on my GMC Sonoma 97, which is pretty much an S10 truck. I need to remove this door to make the process easier. Plus, there's also a sag to the door where it sags downwards, and it's kind of a pain. So the way I'm going to do that is, if we look, there's a big spring in there that we need to pop out, which is a little sketchy. But we're going to do it. And then on the top, there's a little detent on the top to fit a punch, and we're going to punch this thing down. And then on the bottom, there's no spring, so we're just going to punch it up, and then the door should come out. And we also need to deal with all the wiring that goes into the door. So there are two bolts, 7mm, in the handle here. There might be a cover that covers them up, but I don't have that cover. So we're going to just take those out. Alright, we go up here to the handle. So actually, yeah, there's one Phillips head. Okay, so if you pull up on the handle, there's a Phillips head screw right behind it. I have a trim remover tool. We're gonna see if this can come out. Okay, so I'm guessing this pops off on the bottom. Let's see the clips. All the clips. Okay, I forgot. This has crank handles. Alright, so we got a crank handle here. These are kind of a thing of the past. And the way I get those out is I just use a universal door handle clip remover tool. And before anyone asks, can you do this without this tool? Probably. Do I know how to do it? No, I don't. I've always used the tool. It's easy. This thing was cheap. I think I got it on Amazon years ago. And I think it's worth, if you have a door handle crank, it's worth it to buy these guys because it's a pain. I tried to do it without this the very first time. I tackled a crank handle, and it's not worth it. So get the tool. It's super cheap. So the way this works is there's a little U clip in there, and you face this down, and you just put it, in parallel, and you just, there it is. And now you can pull it out, and I'm gonna take this off. Okay, take this off too, and you can see how that works. This little U-clip goes over this, and the two forks just kind of push it off. So actually, I'm just going to put the U-clip back in, because now to reinstall it, you just push it on and it'll clip in. Alright, so now this should come off a little easier. Now we should just push up. Clip there. There we go. You pull up. It's kind of hooked into the window slot. And then oh, lock mechanism fell out, but we got the door panel off. So this is a pretty old school door. So the only wires are these wires which I guess are for the speaker, but I just reached in here and traced the only wires coming from this tube, and these are it. So if we just unplug this, man, this seems like way overkill of a connector, man. There's only 2 wires. So actually, if we just unplug this and feed these wires through, we should be good to go. So let's see how this bad boy's connected. Okay, I'm fiddling around with this connector. So first, you could just take some needle nose pliers, put it behind this thing, and just pull it out. And there's another one on here, this wire right there, that you can just pull out. And then I was kind of struggling with this, but the way you open this is if you look in here, there's a little flap in there, and you got to get a screwdriver and pull that flap up. And then while you're pulling it up, also pull out. And I got one side out. Hold on. Like I said, this is kind of tricky. But you can see, kind of, there's a little detent that will be able to move forward if you pry this out. You really need a smaller screwdriver, that's what I need, or a pick. Actually, a pick would be great. Let me get a pick. Alright, let's try this with a pick. Oh my god. That's so much easier. Oops. Yeah, I got it pried open, but there it is. Like I said, man, it's like 20 pins on that thing, and they're only using 2 of them. It's so bizarre. Okay, so now we're gonna push this. Well, we'll leave this dangling, and when the door comes off, we'll just fish it through. Alright guys, I ain't messing around here. This is a big ass spring, and I'm putting on a full face shield. And honestly, I have no idea how I'm even going to get that spring back once it's off. So I guess the easiest thing to do is to pry it. Okay, I think I can just pry down on it. Yep, there it goes. Alright, it's gonna be a big one. Here we go. Whew! Man. Okay. Okay, now if you look above, there's this pin. And I believe you just, I could take my face shield off. I believe you just punch it down. Let me get some PB Blaster in there. I'm going to put a little jack stand on the other side of the door so it doesn't, you know, sag down. Alright, my punch caught that. That was pretty slick, actually. So let's Alright guys, so this problem is so common that they sell Hinge repair kits and Hinge pins, so these pins are not too hard to get. So what I'm going to do is, because I don't know what's happening here, or because that's not going to fit through that hole. Maybe somebody can tell me. I'm actually just going to cut this pin off. and we're gonna worry about it later. We'll get the part, we'll make it work. So I could barely fit my angle grinder in there. Let's see how this works. Alright, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing from the bottom, except now we have to punch from the bottom. Which actually, it looks like it might be easier. So let's see how this goes. I spoke too soon. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to hold this door as best as I can. Come on. The jack stand has it. So we're going to push it up, take this out. Okay. Okay. Sorry if I'm getting in the way. Put the jack stand right there. I'm going to pull off this boot. I'm going to pull this wire through. Okay. So, actually not. Where's that? We're going to pull this down to help us along here. It should come off. There we go. Alright, so if we look, let's look at these hinges here. This hole on the top is way bigger. Something's going on there. It looks like there was some kind of grommet or something in there. Maybe this one had it at one point. And we look at these two guys down here, and these are the same size and don't show anywhere. So I don't know much about these, how these hinges fail, but to me it looks like there were grommets or something that fell out, and this hole might have worn to be bigger. So we'll figure that out. Let me make some phone calls. Okay, now we got to replace the pins, and to do that I just went to Advanced Auto, and they had just a universal pin kit, and so it comes with the pin, a couple of these little bushings here, which go in the holes, and then it comes with a little snap ring too. So this bottom one is kind of oblong shaped, and I would have to enlarge it a lot for the other bushing to fit in it. So we're gonna leave. Again, this is kind of a universal kit, so we're gonna leave this one the way it is, and we're gonna put the bushing, this bushing up here, just because it fits nicely. And we're just going to see how this goes. I can always take it out if it's a little wonky. So here we go. Oh, somebody's calling me. Alright, let's try this again. Pick up the door. Man, that's Alright, this is tricky. This is tricky, that's for sure. Okay, let's see here. Get this out of the way. Come on. Damn. Oh man, this is a two-man operation. Okay, I'm gonna struggle with this a little bit. Okay, so it was much easier to be on this side of the door and kind of do one of these and hold it up like that. So I put the pins in. I didn't drive them in yet, and I didn't put the clips in to hold them in. So it's just temporary. Alright, so to reiterate, we came in, we greased up the pin right here, drove it in this way, and then the other one we drove down that way. So now we have this little circlip that goes up here we're going to put on. Alright, I got the circlip in. It's a little tricky, but it's in there. So now I'm going to put the circlip on the bottom one, and then the door should be done. Alright, so next we're going to feed this back into the door. Oh, I need some silicone spray. Okay, here's the moment of truth. Is it good close okay? Ooh, that's nice. Doesn't drop at all. Oh man. That makes me so happy. Oh man. Alright. Okay, next we're going to put the door panel on, but I'm just going to fast forward through it since it's the same process as removal. Alright guys, we got this big old spring to put back, and honestly, I don't even know how I'm going to do this. Alright guys, I was fiddling around with that, but I finally got it. So, I used 3 zip ties on one side more than the other, so it's kind of like an arc shape. Then I put it up in there, and got it into place, and then cut each zip tie. I had to use this little saw thing. Let's see if you can get in the picture. It's like a hacksaw with a handle on the back. You just hold it to cut the zip ties, and then when the zip ties are loose, it kind of pops out, and then I just have to punch it once into place, and now it's perfect. So not really the safest thing to do. It's probably better to put it on when you're putting the door on, but yeah, didn't feel like taking the door off, so I think we're probably good. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for this video. This whole job for me was kind of a pain because I had to do the rocker panel, but for those who just have to do the hinges, it's really not too bad. The hardest part is that spring, and you could do it the way I did it, which is kind of dangerous, or you can try to put it on when you put on the door, but I'm happy with the way this turned out. And again, if you want to see the rocker panel replacement, go look at my video there. I don't know which one of these 2 videos is coming first, but it's going to be out there. So thanks for watching guys. I will see you next time.